Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor and today we are doing a chit chat, get ready with me, talk like we're on FaceTime. And today's topic of conversation is going to be about love, relationships, and reality dating shows. Specifically, I've been watching Love is Blind and The Bachelor recently. So, if that sounds interesting at all to you, don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and I would love for us to have a discussion in the comments, kind of talking about, our different thoughts and views on relationships and stuff. Disclaimer, this is all just my opinion. I am not saying any of these things to I'm not out to get anyone. I'm a single woman, I've never been married, I've never been engaged, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't. That's kind of my mantra for kind of anything on the internet, so let's just get started. So, as I said, I've been watching The Bachelor and Love is Blind recently. Me and my roommate love watching both of these shows. We've been hearing about how the new season of Love is Blind has been going, it's been popping off on social media. A lot of people have been making edits to it or posting spoilers and stuff, and we were like, let's see what this is all about. So we started watching it. The first season of Love is Blind actually came out, I believe, in 2020, because I remember super vividly. It was the first time me and my best friend had lived together. We were in a townhome in our college town, and gosh, early pandemic, it was what do we do with our time? And I remember her waking up that day and being like, we're building a pillow fort. And I was like, yeah, we're building a pillow fort. So that's what we did, was we built a pillow fort and in our living room and started watching Love is Blind. I thought that it was a really interesting concept. I think I had to go to work that day, so she spent the rest of the day watching it and I didn't. Past that, I don't think either of us have watched another season, at least to my knowledge, I don't think so, but we both really enjoy reality TV. So you're like, oh yeah, let's see what this new season is all about. So we start watching it. And oh my gosh, 4 episodes of being in the pods, oh my gosh. And so much of it felt like it was kind of on BS-y kind of stuff. Obviously you're supposed to have fun, but I guess here is my thesis statement for this video. So I'll say it and then I'm going to keep referring back to it. Is why is it that these dating shows are kind of not taking away love, and I don't even think they give unrealistic expectations, because I feel like a normal person is smart enough to know that that's not real life. What is a relationship worth to people, and why is it suddenly more serious when there is a potential for an engagement? And so that's kind of my thesis question for this video, is why do people suddenly think that it is the most important thing in the world to find someone only when there is an engagement on the line? Because I was thinking, I was like, well, Love is Blind, but why don't they just kind of just choose to be in a relationship for a bit? Why does it have to be marriage? Same with The Bachelor. And I think The Bachelor debuted, I know it's on its almost 30th season. The first season of The Bachelor came out in 2002, and I would have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure that it wasn't always this getting married, and if it was, I could be completely wrong, but from what I've heard and seen and stuff, is it was just kind of just choosing someone to date, and then maybe they got a ring sponsorship or something and people decided to start getting engaged. But I'm so sick of this premise that people say on these shows of well, I only want to do this once. I only want to get engaged once. I only want to get married once. Duh! To say that is saying something that everybody wants. I've never met someone who's yeah, yeah, I'd get married 2 or 3 times. Like, we all just want to find that one person. And I don't understand why they like don't take relationships seriously. I really like Bachelor in Paradise because I think like you already know the people, and then, you know, getting to know the relationships with other people. And it's interesting how much pressure they put on people. The last Bachelor in Paradise season that I watched, it was a long time ago, but Caitlin Miller and, oh gosh, his name is Dean. Can't remember what his last name was, but they had this great connection and they were just having the time of their lives, and he ended up leaving because he was like, hey, like, we just haven't been dating long enough for me to get engaged to you. And at first she was like, what? Why not? And then she was like, oh, well, actually, yeah, that makes sense, because it does. And now they are engaged and or married. Like, I still follow them on social media. I think that they are the cutest thing to ever exist. I really enjoy them. And I think that that's something that is like kind of lost when we talk about these like dating shows in particular, because we think that it's so important to get engaged, but like you never see these people talk about like what that engagement truly means to them. And it's really hard because obviously everything is so manipulated by producers, and like, what did they actually talk about? But like, most of what we see on these shows is them talking about, oh, our relationship is in such a good spot. Like, we're doing so good. We're so happy together. Our connection. And it's like, but are you getting to know each other? When watching The Bachelor this season, I really like Joey. I really do. I think he's cool. He's like just a normal guy, and I think it's really cool that a lot of his dates have kind of just been like normal, because one thing that The Bachelor does in particular is that they choose, I don't know if like The Bachelor / Bachelorette chooses their dates or what they do, but I'm guessing they have some say. And a lot of dates on past seasons have been like skydiving. Hannah Brown's season, she bungee jumped naked on one of her dates, or like these really adrenaline inducing dates where one or both parties kind of get scared, and then it like raises your blood pressure, and we all know the science behind like you do that and then you feel like closer to that person because you just went through, let's call it like a traumatic event. Not traumatic in like a bad way, but you know what I mean? Like, you just went through a very intense situation together. So now you have this like kind of shared scared experience. And that kind of tricks your brain into thinking that your relationship is more than what it actually is. I also think it's interesting how, you know, they take people's phones away on these sort of like dating things. And it makes sense, but I feel like it also leaves so much room for people to build up stuff in their head, like truly making mountains out of molehills. Like the drama that was like on The Bachelorette this season, it felt overplayed, and obviously whatever they chose to to like show us. But it was kind of like, maybe there just wasn't a whole lot else going on, and so they were like, okay, we have to like really play this up because this is the only kind of drama that we're gonna have so far. And so, but then people are like, oh, I'm falling for you. I'm not in love with you. I'm starting to fall for you. And is that no different than having a crush on? It's kind of interesting because on these shows, people who fall in love fast and are able to like talk about that tend to do pretty okay. I don't know, it's so hard because like at the end of the day it is like a game show, somebody does win, but at the same time like winning love, it's such like a weird thing to kind of like conceptualize, I guess, because people will talk about like winning The Bachelor, but like the prize is Joey, so wouldn't it's like, oh, I want to be engaged to him type of thing. Why do we only take relationships seriously when the thought of an engagement is on the line? Why aren't relationships like boyfriend, girlfriend stuff just as important? Because is that not what relationships are for? So that you can get to know whether or not that is supposed to be your person. And sure, we can sit and talk all day about how, well, they are getting to know each other and blah, 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 blah. Honestly, I feel like from what I've seen of this season, and I'm not passing judgment on any of the women on this season, like, understand that when Lexi left, because she was like, our timelines don't add up. I want you to have everything that you want, but I also need everything that I need everything that I want too. That was, like, honestly such a move, and I respect it so much. And I feel like a lot of people on The Bachelor, Bachelorette, I feel like the contestants, both men and women, they forego what they want and need and expect from their lives so that they can try and fit into Bachelor or Bachelorette's lifestyle. And we can talk about people who, like, aren't there for the right reasons. They're just there to get Instagram clout, whatever. I'm talking more like the people who are there to seriously have a relationship with this person and realizing, you know what, this just doesn't work. And I feel like it's not fair for Bachelor or Bachelorette to be like, well, I really liked them. I didn't want them to leave. Well, you probably weren't very compromising on what you wanted. And so why is it not okay for them to not compromise on what they want? I mean, it's not a bad thing. And like I said, I'm not passing judgment. I think, like, Joey's a really good bachelor. I think that he's really nice, very attentive to the women. So, like, that's not, I'm just pointing something out that I feel like maybe we didn't talk about a whole lot for the longest time, because what they're doing on this show is vying for the attention of one person, maybe at the expense of what they want. I think it's really interesting when people talk about marriage as if it's just this, like, really fun little thing to do, but then they do it and maybe they marry the wrong person and they're like, this is so hard. Being married is the hardest thing I've ever done. That's so unfortunate. Because, I don't know, everyone says the same things. I want to marry my best friend. I want it to be so fun. And that's not to say you won't have rough patches, but, like, there are so many important conversations to be had before getting engaged to somebody. And with I think I saw a statistic one time on how much time the Bachelor would have spent with a woman before he, like, gets engaged to her. And I think it was only, like, I want to say cumulatively, like, 48 hours, around there. And that was a long time ago. That could be completely wrong. If I'm wrong, please nicely correct me in the comments. But it's not that much time, is what I'm getting at. It's not that many hours. It's not that much time. A lot of people, they do this without realizing, like, oh, am I moving there, or are you moving here? Because they don't talk about the real stuff. Like, you could be so compatible on paper. If you don't want to move to the same places, it's kind of a moot. Like, it doesn't matter. Well, and then, like, let's take Maria, for example, one of the front runners of Joey's season. She lives in Canada. And so, and you can just tell, they clearly have a good connection. They have fun together. Like, no one is questioning that. What I question is what's going to happen if he chooses her. Like, is he gonna move to Canada? He lives in Hawaii right now. You know, so, you know, it's just things like that. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not dogging on anybody. That is just, like, a general logistics question. And those aren't the things that people talk about. And, you know, maybe if they did show more of those conversations, or maybe pushed more of those conversations, you know, maybe the statistics on people actually getting married from The Bachelor would be higher. I'm just saying. I do really enjoy, like, love show reality TV, though. I think it is really interesting to see how many different kinds of people there are, because I think, like, you live in one place for such a long time, things just kind of become a sounding board of, like, I don't know, depending on where you live, maybe people have, like, a lot of the same opinions, or, you know, the same style. Like, I live in a pretty small area right now, and so, like, a lot of people have the same opinions. A lot of people even have the same jobs, because I live near a military base, so It's just one of those things. It's not a bad thing. It's just like I'm not exposed to as many different thought processes and, you know, trains of thought. And so I think it's really interesting to kind of like watch these shows or any reality TV and kind of see how other people think and live their lives and do, you know, what they want to do and how they want to do it and all that stuff. I want to do like a dark red look today. This is the James Charles Morphe palette. I've had it for many, many years. I would not, if this was out today, I would not purchase it. I also got it as a gift. Yeah, I think it's really interesting because then, you know, being online and stuff, people talk about like intentional dating. What is intentional dating? How should you date? I think it's really hard because there really is no right way to do it. Well, ethically there are things that maybe you should and shouldn't do. We put so much pressure on dating that probably doesn't need to be there. Not everyone is going to be your perfect person, and I wish that within dating it didn't have to be such an individual thing. Like I wish that it could be more like, hey, we didn't work out, but like you're so cool and so awesome and like I want to be friends with you. And I've met, like, I'll just talk from my own personal experiences. Like I've met some really cool men and some of them I am friends with now because it was just like a, hey, you know, it's just not going to work out. Either one or both of us have chosen that and then we're cool, you know? I wish like more people could do that, and me and my best friend have that conversation a lot. Like it'd be really cool if we could just, you know, have more friends, because why is it that, you know, you match with someone on a dating app, maybe you go on a date or two, it doesn't work out, that sucks, but then like, and this is talking just like purely just dating, like say you went on one date with them, didn't work out, why, like, I don't know. People meet people through people. A lot of people meet their person through mutual friends, and why can't people just be friends without having everything be a romantic interest? This is just my own opinions from my own experiences. So if you've had different experiences, or maybe you know how to navigate like, hey, like, you're not my person, but you're a cool person and I want you in my life. If you know how to navigate that, please let me know in the comments, because that would be, maybe that's the next skill I need to hone. Well, and then kind of on the flip side, my best friend and I have been watching Love is Blind, which I know I briefly talked about, but I'm going to talk about it more. People talk about, oh, I only want to do this once. Obviously. Okay, everyone says that. But then they have 5 days in the pods to like kind of make a decision on somebody, and they don't ask the right questions, right questions, air quotes. And the reason why I say that is because they get engaged, they see each other, and then all of a sudden all these problems arise. Well, you don't want to do this, you don't want to do that, you don't want kids, you have a weird job. What? What? And that's why it's so hard, because like, oh, is love truly blind? We'd all like to believe so, but the thing too is that like, you can have like the best of conversations, but you could also like not be compatible once you like meet in person, and that could just be that. Sometimes it is that for some people. Like you have the, people can attest probably in the comments, like match with someone on a dating app, you have the best banter, the like best conversations, then you meet in person and it's like, and it has nothing to do with physical attraction. It just has everything to do with like, it's just not it. And that's okay. But like, why don't we take relationships more seriously? Because why does it have to be an engagement for people to take it seriously? Because like, if you start dating someone, wouldn't you eventually want to, you know, hopefully marry them one day? Isn't that the whole point of dating? I don't know. I think marriage has like so much value to it. Like you are legally tying yourself to someone, and I feel like a lot of people just maybe don't take it as seriously as they should, or like kind of see things for what they are. Like for example, little reference to the Big Bang Theory. They brought up this plot line where Penny doesn't want to have children, and her and Leonard are already married, and Leonard is very much like, well, I kind of wanted kids. and they don't even have a discussion about it. Penny's just like, nope, we're not doing it. And I know that it's a sitcom, so like everything wraps up in 30 minutes, whatever, fine. But like, let's talk about it on like a grander scale. Why, if two people were truly going to get married, why don't you have those conversations? How many children do you want? Why do you want children? What pulls you to like want to be a parent? What makes you desire being a parent? Like, sure, maybe you can make it work, but wouldn't one person always kind of be resentful? I feel like maybe those aren't the conversations. Like, they're not fun. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I've had that conversation with my exes and it's been so grand. They're not fun. They're not fun conversations to have. They can really like cause rifts in relationships, but at the end of the day, if that relationship is worthwhile to have and like meaningful to have, you'll either work it out, or you break up because you don't have the same ideals and morals for life. Or like, not morals, but like you don't want the same things. That's okay. It's okay to not want the same things. You just have to know and understand that then maybe you do have to walk away from situations that maybe you don't want to in that time, but that's what has to happen. I feel, and it's interesting because like I live in the Midwest. I've grown up in the Midwest my entire life. The marriage culture here is really weird, in my opinion. If marriage is supposed to mean so much, why do people just like get married willy-nilly? And I'm not gonna sit here and be like, this is the problem and this is the problem, because like I know certain statistics and I know all these different things. I feel like people are just so afraid of being alone and they settle and then they realize that this relationship isn't good. And then they leave. And I'm talking from the perspective of somebody who did that. I very much have settled in the past for a treatment less than I deserved. And thankfully I didn't marry that person because I'd be so unhappy. And I am so much happier like living my life on my own terms, taking care of myself and like doing all that stuff, rather than having to deal with someone else's BS every day. But there are so many like fear tactics, like you're gonna die alone, you do this, you do that, no. It's exhausting. I guess that's kind of the other question for this video. If marriage means so much, why are people so willing to just like kind of get engaged and then break it off? So yeah, that was like kind of my ramblings and stuff. Like I said, these are just my opinions. I am not out to get anybody or pass any like harsh judgment on people for the choices that they make. This is just like what I've learned in my life and what I see and what I experience, and like kind of just is a question that I pose to like, let's just say you guys, my audience, like why do people only take a relationship seriously when there is an engagement on the line, but then in like everyday life people are just so like kind of willy-nilly? And if marriage means so much, then why don't we take dating more seriously? And obviously there's like the, oh, you know, maybe my intention at this time isn't to get married, blah, 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 blah. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like people who want a life partner, who want to get married one day, who like want all these things. Like the people on these dating shows, they want all these things and yet they're not taking it seriously, I guess. It's just the way it feels from like watching the shows and seeing all this stuff. It just doesn't feel like they're taking it seriously. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. I would love to have a really positive discussion. Please be nice. Everyone, nice. But don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more bookish and fiber content like this and more Get Ready With Me's like we're on FaceTime. So thank you guys so much for watching today. I will see you in the next one. Bye!